words have power. We're made of three things. We have a spirit, we have a soul, and we have a physical body. And we have to be able to navigate and walk through this world and be sensitive and understanding that these things reside in us, and then the world is our enemy. We have to balance this out somehow, and it's impossible to do without humility. In Luke chapter 22, verse 31, and the Lord said to Simon, the Lord is speaking to Peter, Simon, and the Lord said to Simon in Luke chapter 22, 31, indeed, Satan, he's saying to Simon, Satan has asked for you, that he may sift you as wheat. But I have prayed, Christ says, for you, that your faith should not fail. Christ is telling Peter, one of the disciples, who barely knows anything about Satan, but Christ, I'm sure he explained to him that Satan is our enemy, and so is the world. And Christ says to Peter, out of nowhere, Satan has asked for you. Okay, well, how does that work? We thought that Satan can do what he wants to do. No, he can't. He has to have permission from God. Let's lay it all out on the table. God uses Satan to bring us closer to him. What? That doesn't make sense. That's why we can't figure God out. If you look at the book of Job, Job was getting along. God said he was a perfect servant. Job prayed for his children, that God would give favor to them. He was the richest man in the world. Job did not call on God to test him at that season. But the Bible teaches that the sons of man and Satan were going to and fro, and God started the conversation. God said to the serpent, to Satan, the one that caused division in the garden, the one that caused us to fall from the grace of God and be separated from God in the garden, this Satan, who he had punished and said, you will crawl on your belly and that there will be division between me and you. God says to him, do you see my perfect servant Job? Well, then let's take a look at this. Why is God even having a conversation with Satan, our enemy? It's because God is trying to teach us that he is in charge and that we can hold tight, we can stand strong in any situation that we're faced with. And also that I'm God and I can do what I want to do. That is what God is teaching us through that scriptures, through those scriptures in the book of Job, that I'm God. Yes, Satan is my enemy and he's going to spend his whole life in hell when the last days come. But I'm using Satan to teach the future of who I am and what there be up against. He tells Satan, look at my servant. Satan responds, the reason, God, why he acts the way he does, the reason why he's obedient to your precepts, the reason why he reverences you, God, Satan is saying to God, is because of the hedge of protection you have put around him. Now that can seem kind of simple, like, well, hold it. Is God falling for what Satan is saying? Is God believing Satan? Is God doubting his own self? Is God doubting that Job really truly loves him? No. God is not doubting he's not doubting Job at all. He knows Job loves him. He knows what Job is going to do. So what's the purpose of it? The purpose is to show us that I'm God and I'm going to use Satan to teach you that you never have to give up. You never have to jump off of a bridge. You never have to contemplate suicide. You never have to keep using drugs daily until you lose your mind. You don't have to do that because I am still in charge. Watch me, God says. God says to Satan, well, you go ahead. I'm going to remove the hedge around him, and I'm going to allow you to attack everything around him. That is what I am that I am, the beginning and the end, the Alpha and the Omega, the potter with the clay, the creator of heaven and earth. He is allowing Satan, our number one enemy, to attack his number one servant. Not to prove anything to Job, because God is omnipotent and he sees everything. He knows everything before we even do it. It's already laid out. But God is teaching us Job is going to get it. And I want you to pay very close attention to what's happening to Job. So God allowed Satan to attack him, and then he allowed Satan to attack his physical body. And Job never surrendered. His wife said, look, why don't you just curse God and die? I can't even withstand the abuse that's in front of me now and watching you fall to the ground, because Job lost all his family members. He lost all of his cattle. And now Satan has put boils all over his body. Why is God doing this? To teach us that we never have to give up. Job never gave up. So here we go. Christ is with the disciples. Again, now it makes a little bit more sense. Christ says to Peter, Simon, Simon, indeed, Satan has asked me. Asked me, the Alpha and Omega. Satan asked me, can he have his way with you? Like he asked my father in the Old Testament, can he have his way with Job? Now he's asking me, I am that I am, can he have his way with you? But I have prayed, Christ says to Peter, but I have prayed for you, that your faith should not fail you. Can Satan, in my words, just do what he wants to do with God's people? Not according to the Holy Scriptures. Be right back.